All right, we're looking at the Easter weekend, we're watching the roads, and let's look at how this can be observed in a religious manner safely. Bishop Malusi Mpumlwana of the South African Council of Churches joining us now. Bishop, thank you for being with us again. What are you saying basically to Christians ahead of this Easter weekend?
We are appealing to all people who will be worshiping this weekend for 250 maximum in churches is no license for gay abandon. It is rather something that needs to be embraced with a great measure of humility, especially recognizing that other members of the body of Christ, such as the large churches of the ZCC and the mega churches or the charismatic churches that are not able to have their 6,000s, are actually in a state of sacrifice because they're not able to participate in the same way. And so those churches that are able to worship must worship with the humility as well as in the state of intercession for those others, so that we don't use this space as a space of abandon, but rather as a space of modest and humble appreciation of the need for the regulations of COVID to be recognized. Secondly, we are saying that no minister must break the rules and invite people to a state of risk. And in fact, we are appealing to worshippers: don't walk into a crowded church. If it is crowded, back away, and make sure that you take responsibility for your health and those that you left at home, because they depend on you as you come back without the disease. But we're also recognizing that this is a weekend which normally gets used for many other things, including family festivities, quimbis, and parties and so on. We're saying to South Africans that please let's have this weekend as a weekend with a difference. It is a time when we should be driving safely and not get into a taxi that is not compliant, people are not wearing masks and the windows are not open. But even if you're going to church, and please, families must not have, you must just keep the people that you live with and not invite the extended family and all the neighbors. It just is not going to work. We're trying as much as we possibly, because if we do pick up the pace of infection after Easter, it will be very difficult to restrain it as we go into the winter, which is the flu season. And that is what we are appealing for caution for.
Okay, and good points, Bishop. I think we were speaking when the President was talking a few days ago about the fact that churches could have gone, well, the government could have gone for that 50% capacity, and you separate people with chairs, it's not full, but then everybody congregates around tea or coffee or in the parking lot. So you're saying be on guard around those events, sort of circumventing the church service.
Actually, we abandoned tea and coffee in the parking lot long ago, in the whole of the last year. That was one of the first things that went away. There's no tea at churches anymore. And we're saying now it should also be the case at homes. One of the reasons why funerals become super spreaders is that whenever somebody dies, just people can't keep away. They come and they serve them tea and scones. And therefore, the first casualty of tea is a mask. You have to take it off to do that, and then of course you start the conversation. So it is not the worship that causes this, it is the socializing. And that's why we said in our very first norms and standards and guidelines in May last year, no tea, no greeting and socializing outside of the church. You get into your car if you came, if you walk, just get away, go to the next taxi stop, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And we're appealing for that to happen also in the home environment, because it doesn't help for us to be safe at church and then we use the weekend to be a super spreader, because what's going to happen is that they will say the Easter weekend was a super spreader, when in fact it was people doing those things in their homes outside of the churches.
Yeah, and then churches can't look forward to the concession. This was a concession to churches, bigger gatherings allowed for the Easter weekend. Bishop,
Yes, indeed.
yeah, Bishop, finally, what will Christians, or what should they be praying for this weekend? It comes after a year of pandemic. Still, COVID-19 is with us.
Very quickly, three things around that. The first one is that we are a nation in pain. We're a nation that is in fear. We're a nation in distress. We're a nation that is fatigued. And all those, and we're a nation that has lost, I mean, people, 3 million people, I understand, have lost their jobs. Businesses have collapsed. As you see, shops have closed, and people that are working there have lost their jobs. And therefore, there is a lot of pain in many homes during this time. And we want to, and in addition to that, there has been a heightened spate of gender-based violence that has left a lot of women wounded. And so there is a lot of woundedness. We want to say that tomorrow is Good Friday. We are saying to people, those who are Christian, please use your spirituality to mount the pains of the whole nation, including yours, on the cross of the crucified Christ. And that's the reason why in the service that the ecumenical service, the SACC is putting up with SABC tomorrow at 9 o'clock, we will be bringing a wall of remembrance for all those health care workers that have died in the past year in service, because that's just symbol. It symbolizes every pain that families have experienced in their homes. The second thing is that we are going to a service of hope on Sunday. Again, there will be an ecumenical service at 11:30 on SABC2. But we're saying let's rise in hope and during that, and say that let's give ourselves new energy into a future of recovery. And please, 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 it can only happen if we stay true to all these compliance regulations that we've been given.
All right, thank you for your time tonight, and reminding people that there will be online services, not online, televised services on the SABC, in fact, tomorrow and throughout the weekend. That was Bishop Malusi Mpumlwana of the South African Council of Churches.